what's going on with Wonderland Time now that Daniele Sesta is back in the picture after the horrific liquidation, the cascading liquidations that we saw last night? So what exactly is going on? This is going to be one of the most important videos that I personally release covering Wonderland and Abracadabra because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff happening in the background that we need to talk about and you really need to understand because something important is about to happen. So Sesta retweeted this. All right, so we have Merlin and Sesta plan to personally pay 18 billion out of the 98 billion spell to Wonderland 5 for their treasury. So again, if you're not aware, the spell token has team allocation, and out of that team allocation, Sesta and Merlin are going to be providing spell to the treasury essentially. So next we have rage quit options available for time who do not want to become Abracadabra. Okay, we'll get to that in a second as well. Now, this is the most important. This is by far the critical point of this video. Mim spell, so Abracadabra, and Wonderland 5 will have a $1.6 billion market cap. Spell emissions go to 0 on merge. So what does this mean exactly? Well, over here there was a proposal, let me just open this up, that was put on the Wonderland form XYZ, and it was retweeted by Sesta. So we can see a united front, Abracadabra and Wonderland merge is now up for discussion on the forum. Now here's the thing. A lot of times Sesta doesn't retweet all these proposals that are on the forums and discussions. However, because he retweeted this and he actually went ahead and said, have been working on this proposal for a while as buybacks are not working as we would love it to. The treasury can still earn passive income together with the earnings of Abracadabra, and the wrap memo holders can get the upside from spell becoming the N1 protocol in DeFi. So this is so important you understand what the proposal is, because in the near future, your wrapped memo might be converted into spell. And Abracadabra and Wonderland, the Wonderland treasury, might be merged together or proposed to be merged together with Abracadabra. So let's break down essentially what this means and why it's important. So how will the merger work? So every wrap memo token represents ownership over a part of the Wonderland treasury. Now, for those of you that don't know, let me give you theoretical figures on what this means. So let's just say you own 1% of the Wonderland treasury. You own 1% of the Wonderland treasury. So if the treasury is at 800 million, and let's theoretically say one wrap memo equals $100,000, that means 800 million, which is the treasury balance, divided by $100,000 per wrap memo, you would need 8,000 wrap memo in order to own 1% of the Wonderland treasury. So that's how that math works out. So the merger involves the Wonderland treasury being acquired by Abracadabra. So again, the entire Wonderland treasury would be taken into control by Abracadabra. This means that wrap memo holders will change the ownership from Wonderland to Abracadabra by exchanging your wrapped memo into spell. Now, just so you know, the spell token has also taken a massive hit, and I'll get to that in just a few minutes. It's also taken a massive hit given what happened last night. However, we need to understand the deep-rooted liquidity, the deep liquidity that the spell token has, because look where it's listed. It's listed on Binance, Coinbase, FTX, Gate. It's listed on the biggest exchanges in the world. So the liquidity is there. There's a ton of liquidity as well. So that's really important to understand. And right over here, the wrap memo cauldron. So CPDs will be automatically migrated and you'll be seeing your open positions on Abracadabra. Closing your positions will return spell at the determined migration exchange rate. So this is also important. So the unification of Abracadabra and Wonderland will create the most powerful DeFi community in the industry, entity in the industry. The merged Wonderland community and token holders will benefit from holding the spell token, which will, in addition to receiving their rewards from cauldron fees, also start receiving revenue share from the treasury, which boosts the APY on spell. So to understand that is, if you go to Abracadabra, you're on AVAX, you were to go to the farm tab, you can see that you'll, on Curve Finance, you have to participate in the 3-pool V2 and get a liquid token from Curve that you can deposit into into the actual pool, right? So if you have the token here, you'll be able to, and to get that, you'd have to go to Curve right here, and then you'd have to deposit an equal value of MIM, USDTE, and USDCE, and then you'd get that liquid staking token that you can thus proceed to place into Abracadabra over here, and in return you would earn spell. Okay. So that's kind of how that works. In order to be obtaining spell right now, if you were to farm it, is by providing stable liquidity through Curve. So that's how that works right now. So the spell token is listed on major exchanges, like I just said, has deep liquidity. The merger will substantially increase the treasury's ability to obtain yield through directly working on cauldrons and pushing strategies to degen box. If you don't know what degen box is, there's a really useful article that I would suggest reading. It's literally from Abracadabra Money. It was posted on November 3rd. It shows a really interesting strategy on how to maximize your yield as high as possible. So overall, combining the protocols will turn Spell, and specifically S-Spell, into a governance token which controls cauldrons, MIM replenishments, a $800 million treasury, and receives revenue share from yield-producing assets. The ability to deploy cauldrons with this new strategy using assets in the treasury to generate yield from them to distribute to S-Spell holders will elevate APY for the entire protocol. This, in totality, is a very, very, very good proposal. Now, let's move on. What is happening from last night's liquidation? Okay, so Sifu today put out a notification. I'm having a list made of everyone who was liquidated in the cascade last night, as I did during the last one where I was liquidated. Tokens used for buybacks will be used to make liquidation victims whole. Danny and I will not be made whole so as to increase everyone else's share. I mean, that's kind of fair. The people liquidated under us were well under backing price. This was not an issue of taking high risk and losing a gamble. Which now leads to the second point of Sesta tweeting, clarify one point, Treasury is not intended to be used to repay liquidations. So if anything, personal funds are, which is correct. So you know the 5% team allocation that Sesta and the entire Wonderland team gets paid, or whatever profits they're making from leveraging their money, their funds are the ones that should be used to go and repay the liquidations that happened. However, look, the people that are winning here are the people that were gambling, essentially. So this is a really good tweet that I liked. It was, I don't think those who leverage aggressively should be refunded wrap memo. Feels like a slap in the face for those of us who just staked and weren't greedy. So those who 3-3 basically just staked and earned your rebases rather than taking money against your wrap memo. Long story short, those certain individuals who were leveraging are essentially getting compensated in wrapped memo because of the cascading liquidation that took place. And I get it. I understand that Sesta as well as Sifu feel a massive responsibility, not even responsibility, but just feel at fault, almost like a guilty feeling that this happened. However, the real people that suffer are the people that didn't take out any, they didn't loan against, they didn't borrow against their wrap memo. So everybody who's just 3-3ing their way and hodling the entire time isn't there. There's no benefit for them. The only people that are really winning are the people that were leveraged. So they get recompensated back. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really weird position to be in. I'm not too sure why they're going ahead and giving back or replenishing certain individuals. I just can't answer that. I just don't get the whole theory of tokens used for buybacks will be used to make liquidation victims whole. At this point, I wish I over leveraged myself, because if I over leveraged myself, I still would have had my MIM, and at this point I still would have been able to get recompensated my rap memo that I lost, given, you know, Sesta's liquidation and Sifu's liquidation and other, you know, and other devs or admins liquidations that we might not even know about. So, I mean, yeah, I'm really salty about that move. I just don't think it's fair. And that's all I'm going to say for that. Now, before I end this video, I just want to invite you to follow me on Twitter. Last night, I actually held a completely random pop-up Twitter space where I just talked to everybody. There was about 200-300 people that listened in totality, which was really cool. You guys could, you know, ask your questions to me live, and pretty much we bounce feedback off of each other. So make sure you just follow me on Twitter. It's @DaSilvaShadow. And again, that's pretty much all I have for this video. These are my thoughts. These are my kind of feedback as well for you guys. And if you aren't yet a part of the We Them Discord, take a look in the description, because Friday is going to be a very big day. Wink, wink. So that's all I got. All right, Hidden Gem fam, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great one.